live drawing tutorial with Firdous using the Paintology drawing app from the Google Play Store. So you can download this free app from Google, and this free app is different to many other apps. So a lot of people are not aware that art techniques can also be developed in the in the digital medium, and I'm going to show you how. So this is the Paintology app we're going to go to. This is Google Play Store's app, and here you can see the Paintology draw. That's the app that you're looking for when you type in Paintology app. So make sure you look for that logo. And the way I typically draw and show you in this tutorial, just for newcomers, is I use my Note 10. That's the Samsung Note 10 Plus phone I have. So it's a fairly good, decent size screen, 6.5 inch, I believe, and I use my finger on my stylus, and I happen to use the stylus more recently. But if you're really into drawing, I'd suggest you get a cheap stylus, some kind. So this is how I draw on the phone, and this is what I'm going to demonstrate on the phone. So let me show you a few other resources. So there is quite a few resources, and these resources you will find within the description, and the links are set below the description. I don't think YouTube likes lots of links at the heading, although I put the actual link to the app on the Play Store on the description. I've also added quite a few more resources related to Paintology. The whole idea of drawing on Paintology is not to be on your own and just go start doodling with tools and start drawing and all that, you know. That's not the aim of Paintology. It's really to teach you about drawing techniques. So therefore, the tools, the resources are for that, to encourage you to draw like the way I'm showing you. Most people mistake my art done with traditional materials because they've never drawn like that. And the reason they don't draw like that is because they're too dependent on the digital tools. And since I come from a traditional background, I'm able to incorporate the art techniques that make up really good artists in the traditional world to the digital medium, and very few people know about that. So you're one of the fortunate ones to come and see this. So there are many tutorials, but this one I would suggest, if you're interested in art, to join. Very, very comprehensive free classroom, Google Classroom, that is associated with many of the tutorials you will find in the app itself, and be able to pick up your drawing skills and your understanding of fundamental skills in art. These are the very things that gets taught in classes, gets taught in art classes in academic establishments. So, but since you're one of the early adopters of this, you are looking at something that's offered free of charge at this moment in time. So I would take full advantage of it if you're serious about improving your artwork. So this is the Google Classroom, and if we go to other resources like the paintology.quora.com, please follow me there. You will see that I have quite a few. I add quite a lot of updated information on a daily basis. This is the drawing we're going to make today, and I've already posted it for people to get. This is the actual photorealistic drawing I attempted yesterday on the phone, and this is the actual drawing that I did. So you can see what the app is capable. It's not really the app. It's really what the skill sets that you learn from the app allow you to do. So if you can draw like this, you know, excuse me, sorry about that. If you can draw like this, you know very well you can carry these skills to other art mediums. So the Paintology app is not designed to showcase the app and all the thousands of tools. It doesn't have the thousands of tools because it's not necessary if you're going to go in the direction of creating these art techniques to develop these important art techniques that are essential to good drawing and good painting. So this was the original reference image, and you can see I got reasonably close to the photorealistic one. We did a fun theme of Halloween. I did that with my daughter, and she was the one who encouraged me. And there's so many drawings. You can see this one done with block coloring. This little reference image. This is my drawing on the phone. So I sit through two parts, approximately a couple of hours, 1 hour each, and finish the drawing from zero to finish. This is one of the lines. I had so many you can go through, browse over. So these are the resources. I would first just want to tell you that you should try and draw along with me. Let me go to, yeah, this one. So I'm going to show you a page where you should access all the live tutorials done to date. And there are approximately 75 live tutorials. So 75 actually for you to look at, and all of them are free at the moment. But since it's growing and I need to make money out of my goodness of my art, doing all this for the last 5 years, offering it, with free because I'm passionate about drawing and painting. I will eventually have to monetize, and I may start doing memberships on selected areas, and also encourage users to do their artwork, because the problem is when people think it's free, they don't realize make the wrong assumption that it's not that valuable, and that's sad because a lot of startup companies like myself start by that ability to offer something unique and pretty valuable. And for newcomers like yourself, it's you should take full advantage of it. So when you go to the homepage of paintology.com, click on daily step-by-step video tutorials, and you'll come to this page, live streams, Google Classroom, Udemy. So here, if you go down, keep scrolling down, you'll see two big links, Paintology streams, Produce streams. So this is the two main YouTube channels that I maintain for to support drawings with the Paintology app. And you can see here today, 26th October, I have a reference image. So usually each entry, you can see there are loads of entries here all the way. So each entry is consists of a reference image. That's the image that we're going to draw. So you can see here. So I'm going to download this to get it ready. And then the pointing to the streaming, part 1 starts at 8 GMT, part 2 now I'm 1 hour afterwards. I usually finish a few minutes earlier on the part 1 to give me a quick break, and then hop on to part 2 on the Paintology stream, yeah? And this takes you directly to the links of that tutorial. And then you can see all the previous drawings. They show completed drawings. So let's put up a completed drawing of all the drawings I've done. Here's the bear. So on the phone. So the problem most people make is that they can't tell whether this was done digitally or another art form, because I don't use tools. So that's the whole idea of the app is we don't jump to tools to draw shapes, layers, and all that. If you want to draw like me, you have to learn art techniques, and art techniques involves much more than just digital tools. Most digital artists who are dependent on tools will create artwork that just easily distinguishable as digital art, but if you follow art techniques like in the traditional mediums, you will be drawing like this, and it'll be hard pressed to tell me that whether this was done digitally or not. So hopefully that's why you're here. If not, there are hundreds of drawing apps that cater to people who just likes to use tools and just likes to learn that way. And ultimately, if you do get good in art, you will hit a limit because you'll be far too dependent on the tools. So I just want to tell you this early on. And I'm a very advanced user of Photoshop, GIMP, you name it. I can probably tell you more about digital tools than yourself because I've been using it for 30 years. But I don't use it for drawing in the natural sense like this. I use it to create logos, illustrations, graphics, image manipulation, text over logos, text over images, anything that requires for it to be online, for it to be used consumed on the World Wide Web or something. And typically, that kind of application people think applies to all digital art, but not so when you look at the way I draw. So let's now head back to the art. This is the art that I did yesterday on the phone, and I showed you how to go through it. So since I know you're not going to learn the techniques right away, I don't bore people with just grilling them with information on how to draw. I don't grill them saying you have to shade and do that a million times until you get it right, or you need to keep doing this, tedious grilling exercise. It just doesn't work that way. I don't find it uninteresting. I'm sure you wouldn't want to do it. So it's designed in a way to make drawing a pleasure and learning drawing a pleasure, and that's what I'm showing you. So let's go ahead and go to draw, and go to trace image, and you'll see that I have this image, but it's in grayscale mode. I have it in grayscale. And grayscale is a very powerful mechanism for understanding tones. It's the way I showed you to do that small chick and Tweety bird, the yesterday's tutorial. So this is from the point of view of anyone beginner and anyone looking at this, they'll say this is an extremely complex piece of art to replicate and use for reference to drawing, but it can be done. And I'm going to show you how. And I'm going to show you block coloring. Since many of you like Marvel comic heroes and you want to draw something that gets really close, if not close, I mean, I'd like to get things as close to photorealism, not photorealistic, but realistic. And I like to do that. And then that's why I developed a lot of these techniques, such as block coloring, which you couldn't possibly do in traditional mediums. But since we have the digital medium, it's way powerful. It's way more versatile. It's the reason why I've developed this app. You have to understand that I come from a technical background, but I have a capacity for art. I haven't had a formal training in art, although I've had formal training in engineering, electronics, technical, computers, programming, you name it. all of that. I've been doing it for many, many years. And I have started when the internet revolution came up and the World Wide Web exploded. So it might reflect my age, but I hope you don't put anything against me on that. Probably more, you know, age with lots of wisdom, hopefully. I hope you look at it that way. So let's look at this particular. I load it into trace. What does trace mean? It means you can actually trace this image. So I could potentially, I always start with the line brush. So I would suggest you start with line brush and have a black, and then there you can. So this is a good, absolutely great drawing exercise. So let's do that. Let's trace the line image, right? This is an excellent way for you to get comfortable drawing like this. So you can see that I'm just simply tracing, finding the dark, and this is good in the sense that you're finding the tonal, the variation, the dark and the light. Okay, so we're going to do that. So I've got it. This is all I have, 1.18%, 100%, and I'm zooming in, and I'm just drawing this. So I'm going to do this first, right? So I want to encourage you to do this. Normally I wouldn't do a trace image. I would go straight into block coloring, but some of you will not know what block coloring is. But I want to show you. But if you kept practicing this, a lot of the beginners do not have any idea what they need to learn when it comes to drawing, and that's the reason why majority give up too early, because they're not open to learning. And then there's a sad fact that they throw their arms up in there and give up because they said, no, I can't do this, this is too hard. I mean, if you can write, I'm sure you can trace like this, right? Just do that and you'll see how fun that is and what kind of a unique drawing that you've created. Nothing what the digital has done, it's what you have done by freehand creating this, right? So this is something my daughter has been teaching me. It's called the line drawing, and she gave me a quick lesson once. She's 9 years old, and she's really good at line drawing, I have to admit. She she follows a book that I purchased for her. I forgot what the name of the book was. Sketch Notes, I think. Yeah, that's really got her into line drawing quite a bit. She loves to learn new things, and she's got some of my qualities. Learning new things, being open to differences. Majority of you will probably convince yourself that you don't have it, what it takes, and you probably heard lots of people saying you're not. Nobody's born with talent; they learn it. And believe me, this is only one of a few talents that I have, and I've taken my skills to very high level in other skills. So art is one, and I used to do salsa dancing, entered major competitions. So it's all possible if you put your mind to it. Mm. It's sad because I've questioned some family members on their ability in drawing, and they say, I ask them, why can't you draw? And then they show me one drawing that they've done most of their life, and that's all they show me and says that's all I can do. And it's so weird, it's strange because you don't think like them. You're gonna say, well, is that all you can do? He says, yeah, I can't do anything else. Thinking, what, interested in learning or something? Maybe they have tried learning and they can't switched off. But believe me, in any skills, you can switch off drawing if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So don't blame the skill. It's not an inherent skill people are born with. Ballerinas practice their hearts out to perform on the stage. Athletes do the same thing. So yeah, there's actually very good articles are posted. One of them, if you want to improve your skills, DPD of drawing art, DPD of the essential techniques, the three traits of, I call it the DPD: desire, determination, and DP desire, persistence, and determination. Those are you just need those traits really to be able to pick up any skill. I've written a whole subject on that. So by all means, please go to paintology.com and blog. You'll see all of the important information related to digital drawing as well as general information of how to look at acquiring skills, developing art skills. And the reason I can develop my art skills because in digital over most other people is because I'm always constantly thinking new ways of improving. Is that why should digital drawing be done with tools alone? That's why the reason why I developed the Paintology. So look at all these beautiful lines. So you just go ahead and produce this. This is all you need to do. Get really comfortable. Because the problem with most beginners is that they go, they go like this, so slow. Just use sweeping strokes wherever you see it. Don't worry about the details. Wherever you see a line, just do that. This is a great exercise if you want to do it. I hope you're following along with me, so you can download this image, as I've shown you where you can download. Right? It's a great exercise to help you. It's a wonderful exercise to help you get better in creating these strokes. If you're finding trouble because you're overthinking too much, you could be free from your. In fact, I was overthinking when I wanted to get back into painting and drawing, and I knew I was good as a small child. And I tried. I even bought a canvas, everything, and then I tried with everything, and then I kept saying to myself, I think I've lost that skill that I had as a child in love for drawing. And then one day I bought a paint by numbers hobby kit, the ones you might see in shops. And then I started painting it. And I'm pretty good at tiny details. My teacher used to tell me I'm good at tiny detail. And then I started, and it was a drawing of a World War II plane, right? The ones with the propellers, and it on the sky, and it came out so well that I framed it, and people loved it, and then it spurred me on to. It gave me the comfort, gave me the how do you call it, confidence in to develop these skills to start art again, and that's all it took. Believe me, after that, my skills, I was drawing, painting, showing my friends, and they were truly impressed with the way I was coming up with the materials and content. And then this led me all the way to creating artwork for acrylic, pastels, trying all kinds of medium. And I have some big pieces of artwork hanging my sister's house on her wall, and everyone compliments the original pieces of artwork. And then that's how I got into digital. It's just amazing. And I kept going and going, and then developed Paintology app about 5 years ago. So yeah, let's see what we have here. Look how quick that was, right? There's nothing to it. I'm gonna keep going and just do that. You'll be amazed. You can load any image and can load any image. I have to show this to my daughter and see what's in there. I'm sure she'll be critically judging this. She actually came introduced me to shading, which I learned to do, and I apply it now to most of my drawings now, which is the line brush, combination of the line brush. So if you think tools are everything, look, I'm rotating it to make it comfortable for me to draw. If you think tools are the only thing that's going to make you a good artist, you ain't, you don't know anything yet. The art techniques are what it takes, just like in traditional materials. Don't get too worried if it's not coming out the way. Okay, there, I can see it there. Then angle it. Angle it so you can do these crisscross cross hatching there, like that. Yeah? See how I'm following it? Just following that there. There, I can see how easy that is. So easy. This is so great. The winter coming, I don't know what country you probably live in, but sometimes the winter season you stay indoors more. And it's so nice to do something like that instead of just watching telly. You can do this social media. You can lose yourself. I was thinking whether I should also do this Marvel logo as well. We could, and I can show you how to do that. Just out of interest, because we've got plenty of time. We're not even halfway through. So let me draw his lower arm here. There, we haven't done this lower arm. What is that? I think that is scarf. The back, isn't it? So you can see that this is drawing process. And the drawing process says that if we don't get to a step in the drawing, you will not know how to move to the next step. So it's a continued flow. It's a fluid form of drawing, which most beginners will not know. The fluid form of drawing means you keep doing it until you keep subsequently improving your drawing. And you've seen some good artists YouTube, right? To draw like that. Look, I'm using the free flow of the drawing. Okay, and you can see it there, and then you can see that I have not much detail in this area here, so I'm going to do that. And there's a good reason why there isn't a lot of areas, so I'm going to try something different. Most people think that, especially beginners, think that the obviously the drawing app should help you to get better, but if you come with the purpose that you need tools to help you get better, you're quite mistaken. You need to learn techniques. So you can see with simple line drawing what I've done, you know, and most people would probably be a little impressed with the way I'm drawing right now, but it's so easy. It really helps you improve the whole idea of Paintology is not to showcase what I can do with that, right? There's a lot of teachers who show off their ability in drawing. They're not really teaching you as such, and I'm here to teach you, yeah? So you can see there, it's like his body is more bulkier than his head, so I'm going to improve on his, doesn't look like, forgot his name, the person who acts. I'm going to try and do something with that. Let's switch to a white, completely white. And the reason for that is I don't use eraser, okay? I'm gonna just erase this because it looks like he's got a goatee of some kind. We don't want him to look like he's got a strong goatee, right? Let's have a look what he looks like. That's more like it, isn't it? And then let's select the color. See, I selected white to remove it. I didn't select eraser. Let's see what he looks like here. We don't know what he looks like. Let's see what he looks like. It's getting better. Although I'm going to have to pick the white and get... Let's see if we can improve it. He's looking like the person that we know. Let's make his hair flare out like that. Looks like he hasn't got a small... Definitely does not have. And we don't want him to look like a scarecrow, do we? I don't know if that works or not, but yeah, that looks better. Right, don't you think? And you can experiment with this. See, there's a creative element that you can add all the time. So that's what we have here. Right, that's the line drawing. So let's save this, as that's our first Thor line drawing. And remember, you can always finish this. A much more sophisticated drawing app. Normally, quite a few beginners are quick to judge without even trying and learning these techniques. And that's the danger, you know. It's like you go to a class and the first 10 minutes you decide whether the classroom is good for you or not. And these people are going to go through, I'm not saying these people, but sadly, they're going to go through not learning much. in life, and they're only going to do what pleases them. Okay, so sometimes you have to sacrifice, just, or not sacrifice even, but be open to learning. And so give yourself a chance to learn. There was, we've got the app, as you know, the Paintology app, which we promote, and the number of users who come. So I get very two polarized people when they come to review the app. One, they come for 5 minutes, they can't find the tools or the brushes they're looking for, and then away they go to another app, and they miss the entire point of Paintology, and they may normally leave a poor review even though they've only tried it for 5 minutes, when it takes developing techniques takes far longer. Not far longer, but they haven't even contemplated the importance of our techniques. So they're quick to fly. Then there are others who come on the other end of the app and looking at them and go, what more? Then they can see a whole journey ahead of them and how it's going to develop the very skills that they don't have. And then they get it. And they're the ones who are really understand what's behind Paintology. And then, of course, there are a few who think they are like good artists in digital art, and then again they become dependent on the digital tools, and then they become highly dependent on the digital tools, and they have that same expectation with this app because they're not aware of techniques, and so they might leave a longer review and then summarize the app as being for children. And even though they actually mention that some of the artwork was exceptionally good, but it's taken ages to do, which is really ironic and funny. But anyway, this is what we have here. So what are we gonna do? We got like another 15 minutes. So I've saved it, didn't I? So the next thing is, let's look at this. Yeah, we're not making him look as fearsome as we might have, and we've made his hair longer to fit the body mass, which is fine. Doesn't matter, it doesn't really add anything. So what are we going to do? I'm thinking that we should I'm going to show you a new method of using straight away, putting some color and life into it. Okay, so the next step of my drawing would be to color this individual. So I'm gonna go back home and open it up again, because I've been told by developers that I should do this on this prototype I'm working on. It's an up and coming release, but not going to be major changes, but the one you have on live should work perfectly fine. You don't have to do this. I'm doing this because the app, when we come to make a new release, I work with them closely in order to fix any problems. Remember, Android supports thousands of manufacturers' devices, so it's not going to be the same for all of them. And there are a lot of there can be, not a lot, but there can be some rare performance issues which we try and fix with. We can't address all the problems, obviously, but we try and make the app available to a range of devices, which I think, thankfully, we've been able to do for the last few years, and we've got a good handle on that. So let me open this, and the drawing that I did was D here, and then here's the drawing, there's the, so we're going to actually do something fun. So we're going to go to my daughter, for some reason, seems to really like the chalk brush. So I'm going to try and use the chalk brush, and she uses it for the one brush painting. So let's see what we have there. So I'm going to take that brush size above. So about 5%, and then I'm going to pick the color picker. Okay, here. So this is very important. You might not know what I'm doing, but it's very simple. Here's my drawing, and here's what I use as a reference image. And anything in this top half, see I'm now moving the cursor, is the reference, which means if I use the color picker, this is the most powerful tool you'll ever come across as an artist. If I use the color picker here, I'm able to pick the colors of that. Let me show you what I mean. You see, I'm able to pick that color of that region where I land here. Right, for example, if I get closer, if I color picker and I land here, I pick the color picker. That's the brush that's landed on there. I pick the color picker I pick the color of that reference image. So I'm going to pick that, and you see it goes red. Yeah, it goes red. Okay, so that's all it is. That's the red. So we're going to now use the chalk brush, make it a reasonable size. Take this down to 70. I'm not going to tell you what this is right now. You can figure it out. 67, 70, right? I've got it at 9%. I'm going to see if that works. No, it's a little too big, so I'm going to try and take it down. I'm going to do his face first. So get this, and then I get the color, and then I'm just drawing. I'm going to take it down to 60 actually, so you can remember, you can play with it. You don't have to do what I'm doing. Okay, so there, and then I'm going to color picker here. So I'm picking the colors that are actually in that area where color picker, the actual color. See, I'm looking at these dark tones that I'm seeing. Okay. Okay. And then I'm just selecting color picker and just being looking at these tones that are driving me. See these tones, and just following these tones. So okay, there. And then we'll see what it looks like. If it looks messy, we'll do another tab. We don't know. So, but the whole idea is to teach you what's going on here. So I'm just coloring it. Right now, it's easy to color, isn't it? But you've got the colors that you can pick using the color picker, right? Which makes it so much better and more powerful. I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, you can see there's going to be dark areas here. So just, and I also want to find out what my daughter keeps going on about the chalk brush. She thinks that's the best brush since sliced bread, and I want to know why. So I'm a fan of line brush, shade brush, and charcoal sometimes, yeah. And then the haze. I do like the haze, but she probably has a different way of doing the strokes that brings about the region, the colors within the region, right? Okay, don't worry about use the line brush as a guide. Use the lines that I've done as a guide. Let's have a look. So we managed to do pretty well here, right? Yeah, it seems to be working. So we're just going to go around and it seems to be working, right? Yeah. So color picker, and then so color picker, and then okay. This is a little different to what I'm doing what I usually do in realistic drawing, and that's the beauty of art. You can keep your strokes local, right? Color picker, keep it local. Don't move too far out. Try not to move too far out, okay? And use those dark tones that are showing up, the darker tones which are around the eyes, the nose, and then the tip of the nose there, right? Okay, use this as your guide for using the color picker and then picking it up. I'll show you what I mean. Here's a tone that I'm seeing around the hair here. So, and then here I'm seeing dark tones going on here. And I'm using that as a means of just coloring it in. It's a form of coloring. You must have done some kind of coloring, right? And I'm following, notice my strokes are following the direction of the hair, the direction that I want there as well, right? And then here this goes red, then here you can see it's very dark here under his, right? We don't know what it's going to look like, but at least right, we don't know what it's going to look like. Look, under his eyes I haven't done, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to show this to my daughter when she wakes up, and then ask her, can you tell what brush I use? And she'll be super happy. Did I tell you she's 9, by the way? Alright, let's have a look. I think that's really turning out to be not bad, isn't it? So I'm going to actually stop here. I'll take a bit of a longer break, and then I'll let you catch up to here, and then we're going to carry on finishing this nice drawing of Thor on our phones, and hopefully, if it's a bit hard, obviously, for you to look at this on your phone and then do it, but some of you may have come across a way like switching between the drawing and also watching me while I'm drawing. I'll have to figure out a way to do that, and then you may want to have a laptop or a friend holding, for a friend's phone holding up the video, borrow another phone while you make the drawing, isn't it? That's doable as well. So thank you for watching part 1, and then I will join you in about 10-15 minutes on part 2 on the Paintology. So you should see the description. You should see the link in the description. If not, go back to paintology.com, click on the paint button, and then you'll see the stream part 1, stream part 2 of the drawing, yeah, on that page. So please subscribe, and hopefully you'll see more of this. And I do this on a daily basis, and I have to tell you, I've learned a great deal in the 2 months I've been doing this. So I'll see you shortly. Thank you. Bye.